Look what we installed.
Welcome back everyone to Life in the North 40. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Rick.
We can't wait to show you what we've done on the cabin this week. It's amazing. We're really making some good progress.
Thanks for joining us and all your support in our big cabin building adventure. Please subscribe to our channel.
Let's go.
All right, before we can get this last piece of siding on here, this just over 2 foot chunk on this corner, I have to get my metal pass-throughs figured out, installed, caulked, and cut in for my double-walled stovepipe to go through here. I have 2 pieces of this 24 by 36 galvanized sheet metal that I'm going to go ahead and cut down to fit this to cover inside and out before I put my siding. It'll go over the house wrap on the outside and I'll tape it, and then inside I'll caulk it around the inside edges, and then before I put the siding on, I'll caulk the outer edge of that metal as well. Line up outside metal left edge. All right, it's gonna be a moment of truth here. All right, here's the moment of truth. There's my center spot. It looks uneven from this line, but keep in mind, this is to the outer edge of that right-hand stud facing outside the cabin. So that's 1.5 inches right there. That's dead center for the hole. So the double-walled stovepipe, I'm using a 6-inch. That's the inside diameter of the stovepipe. The outer diameter is 7 inches. I want to cut this hole a little bigger for expansion. We're going to create a tool for this. Just getting this roughly 6 inches. Doesn't need to be exact for this. Okay, but what I do need to be exact for is where these screws go through. They need to be half of the circumference. Is that right? Yeah, half of the width of the circle. So I want this to be 7 1/4. 7 1/4. Half of 7's 3 1/2. And then, what did I say? I wanted 1/4 over. So 3 1/2 is 7. And then half of 1/4 is 8 1/8. If the tip's gonna stick through to make our mark. I want this to be perfect because I get one shot at it cutting that metal, and you know what? That's good to go. Making a nice line I can follow with my jigsaw and cut that out. There we go. Probably could have went through it with a little thicker metal, but it's gonna be fine. This thing's gonna vibrate really bad. It looks a little jagged, but we'll pound that out. Let's try to flatten that out and we'll check our measurements. 7 1/4. It is, I got a little jaggedness in spots, but I'm a little wider too. All right, moment of truth. Let's get our stovepipe in there and do a test fit. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's plenty. Yeah, that'll work great. It gives me a little room for expansion and contraction. Plus I can tape that with HVAC tape to seal it, keep the critters out. I am gonna have corrugated metal along the L of the corner behind my stove to protect my tongue and groove pine. And then I have a fireproof flooring material that will go under the legs of the stove. So yeah, so now all I gotta do, in theory, for the novice here, is made up my other sheet, and then I'll just draw a stencil around that and cut that one out in the exact same spot as it's going to be mounted. It looks like we got a match. Nice. All right, success. All right, now that I got this all tacked in on the outside, overlapped with house tape, all taped up from the bottom up, shingled, I'm gonna go ahead, before I put the siding over the top and tighten this down, I'm just gonna get a bead of caulk around this joint so it's fairly loose. The house wrap, you want the moisture to run down, but right under this edge, you want to keep it from coming in. So, and I have an overlap with the metal, so I'm just gonna seal this up. Notching out this corner for the post hardware. This will be the bottom. I don't know if you can see me. Last piece of full siding up here. Got it measured, notched out, looks great. I'm gonna put 2 screws in to hold it in place temporarily so I can get inside, make my mark for my cutout for the chimney pipe with standoff. I'll do a square. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. I'll take and cut that out and we'll get this baby mounted. It's wanting to walk to the right because I notched that corner out so it's got no rest. So I gotta hold it up. There we go. Piece of advice, don't ever try to do siding by yourself. It ain't easy. There's an example. Having to hold this plumb level and get a screw in, next to impossible. But I'm doing it. And it's way harder, it takes you way longer. All right, that's snug. That'll do it. To get my mark on the inside. Loving this new cordless nail gun. I just bought this. My father-in-law lent me his nail gun. I had to give it back to him, so I got addicted to a nail gun. This is even better. I really wanted to get my chimney pass-through solved. That was kind of bugging me, and it really turned out great. Huge jam into the studs. Well, finally on our last wall here, the front wall. I'm hoping this goes quicker and easier as I'm not on side hills, on ladders. I got the deck to work with. This is my highest wall. This is a 9-foot wall. Got 8-foot sheets, so I'll have to rip a foot chunk above each of the 4 boards. This is 16, and these are 4 foot wide, so 4 pieces of siding to cut out for my door and window. So let's get these babies tacked in, trimmed out, and I'll get that window installed. And then we're gonna have the exterior buttoned up. I have been putting above my windows the flashing over the top of the windows on the exterior here, but because I have this roof over this, I'm not going to put flashing over the door molding. This door has molding on it that will sit on the siding, so I'm not going to put flashing over the top of that. Of course, I'll caulk and level and plumb the door and seal it and all that good stuff. So around the exterior 3 walls, not under the porch here, I ran the siding down below the frame floorboard, so that covers all the way down. I'm giving myself a 1/4 inch gap here from the deck so that we don't have any moisture sucking into the bottom of these panels. Behind that, again, remember I do have 7-inch flashing that's from about here down below the floorboard level to catch any moisture and push it down and away from the cabin. Front wall is done. Got that window in and everything. The door is prepped, so really coming good. Was able to tuck that in over our top plate. Nailed it into the bird block, so that's good. Everything's tight. I went ahead and put the Z-bar flashing in here in between siding, even though I'm under the roof. I had it, and I put it over the window too. I'm not going to put it over the door. It has molding on it already. Looking good. Finally got the front wall completed. So we're gonna get the door installed today. This is a pre-hung steel door 9 light. I'm gonna go ahead and just pre-paint my trim color around the molding real quick so it's nice and coated around the back edges and sides. I'll caulk the door in once it's in as well and probably touch it up, but wanted to get that done first. So it's exciting. We're gonna get this in, and I'm gonna get some butyl tape on the floor coming inside on the floorboards, pressure treated flooring, before I install the door. Just as a little extra insurance, I have some left from my windows, and just so where any moisture may come in, even though I'm gonna try to caulk it really well, it'll be covered. So what I'm trying to do is get back that back behind edge, get a coat of paint on it where it sits up against the cabin. I'm not gonna be able to get up there now. Just gonna have to. Do a large bead of caulk right on the edge of the subfloor to be right under the threshold, and then about a 1/2 inch back we'll do another big bead. And then we're going to seat that door threshold right on here. Okay, then about a 1/2 inch back. Just go with it.
It's a horrible noise.
So what we're doing now is we're going to put shims between the jamb outside of this pre-made door jamb, the door frame, and the sill here of the door. So behind each hinge. This top is pretty tight. I might be able to slide a shim in there, but what I'm doing right now is seeing what I need as far as shims to tighten this up. Super happy. The shims totally leveled this thing out. This frame warped as it sat, you know, the weather got warmer and everything, just settles and warps. But you know what? The hinge side is the most important for the door swing, and it is dead level now. So I'm seeing my door now isn't swaying. That's indicative of it being level. Before it was just like whipping in, not from the air, just because it wasn't level. So that's a good sign. Okay, so I got 2 temporary screws on the strike side, and just check level, we're still good. Okay, there's those 2.
Keep going. It's because you don't have that screw in.
What screw?
That middle one.
Well, yeah, because I needed to make an adjustment. Oh, it's hitting that. I thought the door was messed up after I did a couple screws. It was great. It was because I didn't screw this in yet. I tried shutting the door. Amateur hour.
Hi.
Look what we installed.
So can't you just imagine a nice, warm, cozy fire here and us watching the snow fall out this humongous window? It's not going to be too far gone from now until that happens.
Starting to really feel like a cabin in here, getting really exciting. We're getting into the 4th quarter now, getting this outside complete.
Well, thank you for joining us this week, and we'll see you next time.